Hello and welcome back to another video, you guys. Today we will be lowering my 2014 to 2021 W205. This particular model is a 2016. It's not 4MATIC, so it is the rear-wheel drive version, but it should work, I believe, on that the same model. So 4MATIC and even the AMG C63 should be the same procedure or close to it. I tried to find some write-ups online or even some YouTube videos of this procedure, but didn't really have much luck. So I thought, hey, maybe I could help some other of you guys out. So we're gonna go ahead and go through the process as well as all the tools you'll need for this lowering spring install on this car. So yeah, let's dive right into it. The springs I decided to go with were the Votland lowering springs. I was gonna go H&R, which I've had a good, experience with H&R brand. So the reviews on this were just as good as the H&Rs, except for these dropped it, I think 1.4 inches front and rear versus about 1.2. So I know 0.2 of a drop isn't, huge, but at the same time, it is definitely a little bit more, so we wanted to, max out as much as I could. These were still made in Germany, so. And this is a part number in case you guys are interested. So from my understanding, the rear, is that the rear is much easier to do. So I'm gonna obviously start with the hardest first, which should be the front. So I am chucking the rear because, safety first. And I'm gonna get a measurement of where it sits right now. Now my driveway is kind of slanted down, so when I get the measurements again, I'll make sure to have it parked in a similar spot. Try to get a good comparison of how much it did drop the car. And of course there's always that week or so where the springs have to settle, so gotta account for that as well. But let's go and see where she sits as far as the fender gap right now. Okay, so for the front gap, roughly looks like about, if we're gonna go like even from there, I mean, we got a good 1.5 inches or so of fender gap. And then on the rear, it's a little more, about almost 2 inches. Just to show you here what we're going to be removing. So underneath this, which kind of sucks because this whole thing is one piece. I was thinking maybe we can remove just this panel right here, but fortunately I'm just going to lift this side because I'm not trying to remove everything as far as windshield wipers and whatnot. So if you look, there's 3 bolts here. You'll have 1, 2, and 3. Those are all going to come off. That's the top of the strut. And then on this side, a little bit easier because this panel does remove from just this side here, so you can unlock all these on here, and this should pop off just like that, which I will get this out of the way right now for the other side. But so these 3 here will be coming off, and then in the actual strut we're going to be removing the top of this A-arm right here, and this is a T45 star nut, or sorry, torque bit, so T45. And then down below we also have the bottom of the strut itself. There's going to be a bolt that we need to remove, I'm gonna try to get away without having to remove the sway bar and link, but in some of the stuff I read, you might have to remove that too. So we'll kind of play it by ear, but let's see if I can get this out. All right, so to remove the upper A-arm from the knuckle, you're gonna have to use the Torx 45. It's a torque bit, and you'll need a 1 1/4 box wrench, 12 point. So then you'll use your 245 to stop the bolt from moving, and then you'll use a 1 1/4 to loosen it. It might help with having a second hand, but my second hand's filming right now. With that, this will actually come down, so usually you want like either a jack here, and even then it'll kind of want to twist off to the side, so make sure you're ready for it when it's when this is completely taken off. And now we'll have a bolt right here that we need to remove, which is the bottom bolt of the actual strut. And make sure to remove your, this looks like the ABS wiring, so that way when you're ready to take this out, everything else is already out of the way. So we're gonna use, actually this should just come off just like that. And then there are 3 nuts at the top that we're gonna remove. So for the bottom bolt of the strut, you're gonna need a 15/16 wrench, box preferably, and that way you can actually get the bolt secured here so that you can remove the nut. And the nut is a 21 nut and a 15/16 wrench to remove the bottom. And you gotta make sure it's supported with a jack, so that way you can actually remove the bolt from the bottom. These top 3 bolts are 16 millimeters. So we're gonna go ahead and pull those off now. All right, so if you pull this down enough, you can remove it without actually removing the end link. So you do have to put some pressure on here, and then it does help to have a second hand to pull it out while you're somebody's pushing this down. But yeah, you do not have to remove this. You can actually wiggle it out. All right, to remove obviously the spring, if you haven't lowered cars before, you'll know you'll need the spring compressor tools, which if you don't own them, you can actually just rent them. I actually have my own just because I've lowered so many cars here. But what it does, compresses the spring, so that way when you remove the top nut, it doesn't just, you know, explode on you. You do want to do this carefully on each side, equal amounts when you're compressing, and then the same thing when you're releasing the tension, you want to do it equally on both sides. The size for the top nut is a size 17. I was fortunate enough not to have to use the hex key to stop the shaft from spinning, so I was able just to remove it completely. But yeah, so I'm gonna loosen this up and get the new spring on. All right, so I did have to use this spring compressors to get the actual aftermarket springs. A lot of times you have enough, it's a lot shorter where you can actually just put it on without this, but in our case, we had to do that, so I'm going to put the top nut in. Now the orientation, obviously this was facing outwards towards the car, and on the top hat, on the top of the strut, you have 2 bolts that are closer together and one that's further apart from these 2. So this one is always facing outwards. So I just made sure that when I'm putting the top cap back on, this and this is out towards the car. And obviously whenever you guys do the compressor, make sure that this end is facing a safe direction, that you're not making it so that you're putting yourself in danger in case this were to fail and slap somebody in the face with it or break your chin, either way. All right, it's ready to go. So for the rear, first thing we have to do is this bottom control arm. We're gonna go ahead and remove this plastic cover. This is the only bolt that we're supposed to have to remove, which this side on mine is a T55 torx. On some I've seen are female like this, and some are male. So you'll have to look before you start, because it's different on several different years, I believe. But yeah, so I'm gonna put, as soon as I remove this, on the other side there's an 18. Let's see if I can get it. There's an 18 nut, 18 millimeter nut on this side. So I'm gonna remove that, and then I'm gonna support it with a jack, another jack, so that way we can make sure this comes down nice and slow. So when you put the actual mounting cup, make sure it lines up with the end of the actual spring, just like the factory one. And then same thing for the top. Now when you're putting this back in, make sure that, see how there's little dowel holes here on the top of the cap. If you look up here, you'll see those same dowels that you want to match up. And on the bottom, right here, that you want to place the bottom cup. So that one you'll see right there as well. Just like that. All right, so make sure you torque that 18 down, double check, make sure your cup is sitting flush, as well as the bottom one. All right guys, so it has been 2 days officially since we've lowered the Mercedes, and I have to say she looks well good. I'm going to measure the front and rear spacing. Now, I'm gonna do this again on a flat surface because my driveway is slanted downwards, so the rear end and the front, it's just not gonna, I think the front's gonna always look lower. So if you look, now the front is, I mean, I'm measuring it from the top of the tire, and it's a good ½ inch away from the fender now. And again, she looks very clean. And then in the rear, again, we are on a slope, so I'm gonna get this again when the car is flat, but this is about an inch or so from the top to the fender. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. Hopefully some of you guys that are watching got some good insight on lowering your W205. If you guys enjoyed the video, got some information out of it that's going to help you guys out, hit that like button, subscribe for more future content. Thanks guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Hello.
Ralph, can you get this to Ella?
Yeah. Maddie.
Who's that, Maddie? Who's that?
On the side. Did you actually see it?
Yeah,
Oh. Okay, bye.
Bye.